Hello, all. I was doing some searching and research for a book that I'm currently working on and hope to be having published sometime later this or next year. And this particular article came across my news feed. Pornography Desensitizing Young People is talking about a new study that was done just this past year in 2016, where apparently about 53% of 11 to 16-year-olds had seen sexually explicit material online, and nearly all of them had seen it by 14. Now, here's what was particularly interesting: not just the fact that these kids had seen pornography, but more specifically, the fact that apparently most of the kids who had seen it had failed to the pornography had failed to help them understand consent, and apparently most people saw it as a realistic depiction of sex when it's not. The report also found that 14% of people had responded where is it here? Yes. Apparently, okay, this was, sorry, no, not that section. Here it is. Some of the concerns that came up with this. Apparently, apparently 13-year-old boy was saying from amongst the subjects that were studied, one of my friends has started treating women like he sees on the videos, not major, just a slap here or there. And another 13-year-old girl was saying, a few of my friends have used it for guidance about sex and are getting the wrong image of relationships. Now, the thing, of course, is that because of the fact that young people are seeing pornography, they're getting access to it over the internet just through pop-ups and stuff, and are getting these images about what sexuality is during their formative years. There's a major issue here. Now, one of the researchers actually did. One of the researchers, the co-researcher, said the following issue that I think might actually be a particularly telling point. Well, besides the fact that girls may feel pressure to live up to unrealistic and possibly non-consensual interpretations of sex, we found that children and young people need safe spaces where they can freely discuss the full range of issues related to sex, relationships, and the accessibility of online porn in the digital age. I actually think this is a good idea. But here's now the thing is that this article goes on to suggest that a new bill needs to be done to ban children from being able to see more pornography online as well as offline. But I think that the lawmakers are getting the wrong interpretation here. Let's go back again to what the co-researcher said. We found that children and young people need safe spaces where they can freely discuss the full range of issues related to sex, relationships, and the accessibility of online porn in the digital age. What better place to make such a safe space than classrooms? Back when I was in high school, we saw a video called Killing Us Softly, which was talking about how women are objectified in advertisements, from everything from, being made into beer bottles to that kind of thing, to having only parts of them shown as opposed to the whole body, to various ways where they're sexualized and infantilized, to all this other kind of stuff. Maybe what might not be a bad idea is the possibility of part of a critical thinking exercise. I mean, certain countries in Europe, according to some things that I've seen, have already been teaching consent at an early age. Why not actually have a class where pornography is shown to, as part of a sex education class, where children are shown small sections of pornography and then are asked to, by teachers, are led through a discussion on how to debunk the inappropriate concepts that are happening in these things so that children are better educated as to what consensual relationships actually look like. This way, when they're confronted by this kind of stuff, they know how to think critically and are not getting the wrong kind of ideals from it. Because the thing is that if a young person is getting these bad ideas without proper education from seeing pornography at ages 11 to 16, what's the likelihood that if they're not getting appropriate sex education as to what consent is beforehand, that when they see pornography at 18, it's going to be any different? So I'm thinking that part of the problem is that maybe the issue is incorrect imagery being taught, and we need to find a way to help kids, be aware of what good relationships look like and what these issues kind of look like in a more critically thinking context. Is sort of empowering kids by not only teaching them consent about their own bodies, but also by helping them realize incorrect information and incorrect imagery when they see it, or incorrect concepts being presented by this imagery. And the only way that I can think of to do that is to have a controlled environment where kids are or one of the only ways I can think of, is to have kids in a controlled environment be exposed to this, and then from that be able to look at it from a critical thinking standpoint, very much like in the way of watching videos which deconstruct how women are objectified in mainstream media. Have a critical thinking class which shows how women are being objectified inappropriately in pornography as well. This way, kids are empowered to boycott pornography and stuff like that and know why it's wrong, not just that it's wrong. Anyway, this is just my thoughts on this. Feel free to leave in the discussion in the comments below. Again, this is just a start of a conversation here. And I think that if the researchers are proposing this idea, maybe safe spaces would be in classrooms would be a good place to start being able to discuss issues like this in a more appropriate way. Anyway, just my thoughts on this. Take it for what you will. And as usual, catch you on the flip side.